Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're going to be changing the shell on a older, I guess, second gen Prius remote. So I got a silicone cover on here, and the reason I have it on here is because if you guys look at the remote, it's pretty nasty and it's open, and mostly I was afraid of moisture and water getting in there and, you know, messing up the electronics. So yeah, this is quite an old remote and it's quite beat up actually. But the good part is that there are options to change just the shell of the remote while reusing the electronics inside, because if you would have to reprogram a whole remote, then that would be a whole can of worms with taking it to the dealer and whatnot else. So, and not only that, the price would be ridiculous for a new remote. But this shell here I got on Amazon for just a little over $10. So they go anywhere from 10 to 15 bucks, which is a really good price for what you get here. So we do get a blank key, which is pretty awesome because I can get the old one out here, which my little tab is broken there also. So theoretically you could just take this to any key place and, you know, make another key. So I might do that later, but we should be able to use this older key here for the new shell because they are the same. So that's what we're going to do in this video, but you can make an extra spare, so that's pretty awesome that it does include that also. So let's go ahead and look at the shell. So it comes in two pieces, and there are little tiny screws that come with it also. And as you guys can see on the front of it, it looks nice and clean, and it kind of has the same rubber texture. So very nice. So yeah, as you guys can see, it's pretty much the same thing. Now the only big difference is going to be on the back here. It's just a blank, while the original has the Toyota. Now if you wanted to, you could reuse this lid here to open the lid, and that's where the battery is. And to do that, what you do is you press this down here, and then it slides, or should slide out. So it does need a little bit of persuasion. It was kind of stuck pretty bad, but you can see it has a crack. But there it goes. So you can kind of see how the mechanism works. There's a little tab right there that holds on that lip right there. Because my little nub here is broken, I'm going to go ahead and use the new one. But if your back cover is nice and functional still, and still looks good, you could technically reuse it on the new shell. So you have the Toyota emblem on there. So here on the new one, it should come off the same way, and it does quite easy because it's brand new, fresh. So as you can see, this is where the 4 bolts go for the cover of the battery door. Pops right out, and the new remote already has the front fascia off, and I think that just clips together. Yeah, so whenever we're going to change the electronics, we're just going to clip this back together. But in any case, let's go ahead and take the old remote apart. So you are going to need some tools, which is mostly this really small Phillips screwdriver bit. So let's go ahead and take off the 4 little bolts. The battery door should pop off. There we go. And the battery that is used is a CR2032. So the next thing we need to do is we need to pry the remote apart completely in half. Alright, so with some persuasion off camera, I'm mostly prying on this one corner, eventually just cracked open. And you definitely want to be careful not to stick anything too deep in there to, you know, harm the electronics. Now this thing is definitely not supposed to be taken apart because it just broke off. So this is definitely something to consider. But in any case, once this thing comes apart, we should be able to gently pry this circuit out. Again, we want to be very careful not to hurt anything. It looks like it is coming out. So I'm just going to push on the buttons and it helps it come out even easier. And there we go. So this is what the inside looks like, where the buttons are. As you can see, it's quite dirty and not a good thing to have open like that just to the weather. So here we can see the front of the circuit, the 3 buttons. So what we need to do now is install this into the new remote, or should I say the new casing, and it'll go in there something like this. It seems to fit quite good. So we're going to set this to the side for now because we have another thing we need to do. And if you guys notice right here, this is the other side of the old remote. You can see here there's a little chip here or something, and the new one doesn't have it. So we have to transfer this to here. So again, we're going to carefully pry that out. And it does pry out quite easily, just straight up. So it appears to be some kind of chip or something, I'm not sure, or some kind of activator maybe. But in any case, we're going to reinstall it into the new remote. Just like that. And now we can take the 2 halves of the new remote and combine them together. Just like that. And this new remote actually just pops together. So let's go ahead and check the buttons. So yeah, that's very nice. Works good. As you can see, everything looks really good. Now also, you might want to either save this piece or remove the sticker and glue it onto here, because it does have the information to the remote, the model number, the FCC ID, and some other stuff that might be important. If your remote ever breaks and you need to maybe get a replacement, you might need those numbers, so just keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and put the battery in, which goes in just like that. Pretty simple. And then we can use either the old cover or the new one that came with the new remote. I don't think this part matters too much. The old one actually has the little gasket stuck to it, which you definitely want to not forget to reuse. Now the only thing I'm definitely noticing about this new remote is I don't think it's very waterproof compared to the old one. So you got to keep that in mind also. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use the old cover. Should be fine. And we're gonna use the 4 new little bolts that came with the case. They actually put 5 in there, an extra one. Alright, and so we almost got the remote together. So as you guys can see, that wasn't too hard. So now you have a choice either to put the original back on or the new one, which I'm going to use the new one since my little tab on the older one is broken. It's quite hard to use. So this just slides in. You're going to pull on the tab here and it'll go in all the way. So yeah, you got to pull all the way because it has to move out of the way, and then it'll go around the tab and click into it. So yeah, and that's it. And the remote is back together. Very nice. So we do have the new key that we're not going to use because we haven't even cut it. So we're just going to clip our old key in there and it should clip right in. And there it goes. It's holding just fine. And to unlock the key, it's quite simple. Just pull on that. That's it. So it's back to normal and we have a nice clean looking remote. Now to be completely honest with you guys, this doesn't feel completely premium just like the original one, and you can kind of see the build quality is not to that kind of standard, but it's definitely quite nice that it gives a much better aesthetic, you know, compared to having holes in your remote, things like that. So in any case, so I'm going to keep all these older pieces just in case I need it for anything, and then I can go ahead and copy a new key to have an extra one just in case. So yeah guys, if you want to change your case, that is possible. You do have to pry the old one open and kind of break it apart, but as you saw there, it's not too hard. So I'm going to leave some links in the description where you can get this case. It's from Amazon, so check that out. So for the last part, let's go ahead and go to the car and see if it works. So as you can see guys, it works just fine. Locks, unlocks, starts right up. So yeah, it looks like everything's fine and it works. And also I wanted to note that little chip thing that was in the front of the remote here, I think that is for the sensor in here when you stick the key in like that. So when your battery dies, you can still start your car. So that's probably what that's for. But in any case, well, hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, then hit that like button. I do have a bunch of other Prius videos, so if you want to check those out. And if you want to see more videos like this and other things I do on this channel and you're not subscribed, then hit that subscribe button to see more. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.